Um, so hello again. I'm just starting this part over. So I'm going to be reviewing with you guys today information about the group messaging that you'll be doing each week. Just wanted to clarify the difference because first there's the discussion board, which we'll be using each week to talk. And then you'll be getting to meet with 3 or 4 other students, like I just said. And so I'm going to show you guys where to find your group, and then also what evaluations you use for that, and also the assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I hope you're starting to get familiar with Brightspace. It is, I will say, it's kind of an awkward place to navigate. That's been my experience with it. And so if you're having trouble finding something, I really say always go back to content. That is where all the information about the assignments are. That's where the rubric is. That's where you'll find information about your group. So next week, week 3, is when you'll first be meeting with your group, and so that's where you'll find the assignments. I just wanted to go back here to show you where it is. So lesson 3, and then so you will be continuing with the Teach One Another discussion board, which you've already used or are using, and that's where you post a comment, and Brightspace will have randomly assigned you to a group of people that you'll be associating with, because 40 people won't be reading your post, just like 8 or 9 people that you've been randomly assigned to. So during the week, you'll comment with these people, and then the next week it might switch it up to be another group of people. And you won't really know, and I won't really know. You'll just notice different names. So you'll get a chance to interact with different people in that space. So that's the Teach One Another discussion board, and that's the topic here. If you go into that. So the thing that will be new is every week you'll have this learning activity. And this is the assignment that you'll be prepping for your group. And in this, you won't actually have to write anything. It's a topic that you'll consider. And it's those things like meant to help you kind of prepare for your bigger project, the Family Proclamation project, or just to synthesize some things. So it says, please include the answers to the following questions in your report with your group. So you'll see where that goes in a little bit. But choose one of the following learning activities to complete. So you can choose any of these that interest you. And I recommend maybe writing a few notes down so you'll be ready, but you don't have to type anything up or prepare anything like to hand in, which I think is nice. It's just to think about. So you can pick one of these, and then I have to move my little thing. So you can jump over, you can click on this to go to the next one, or you can go back and see. So you click on this arrow here. And so you'll post this information, you'll connect with your group in this Connect in Group in Zoom Groups discussion board. So you could click on this link to go to it. That's pretty easy. And I'll show you another way to get there. And then this is the weekly group meeting evaluation form. So this is the only thing you'll write up about meeting with your group. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead and go here. This is the last thing you'll do after you've talked to your group. Hopefully we'll be here. So I've made yep, here it is. So this is a Google form. I don't know if you've used those before. We had to make one, and this is the part that's a little ugly. It's kind of long. So you'll have 3 or 4 people in your group, and so you'll get to talk together at a time that works for you, and then you go in here, click on this link, and then you'll go through and write up your experience. And this is how you're graded on your participation. So you just run your name, your last name, what's your group number, which I'll show you where you'll find that in a minute, how long you met, what you talked about, what stood out to you, it's kind of journaling about it. And then this, it won't let me do that. You go to the next page. Let's see if I can get it another way. I don't want to fill it out. All right, I guess I have to fill it out. Don't do it this. You will not get points if you do this. uh, so originally they had it all as you had to fill out a separate form. So tonight my entertainment was figuring out how to make this one form. But it is a little, every time you meet, you do need to make an evaluation for each member of your group. And it doesn't have to be long, but just say who you're evaluating, if they came prepared, if they participated, and that's all, just right there. So that's how, yeah, you just put a little mark down for each person in your group to show that they were engaged and present. And it's not meant to be really hard on people. It's just to show, you know, they did or didn't participate, to be fair. And that's it. So that's how so every week you'll meet, you'll talk, you'll prep, excuse me, then you'll meet and you'll talk, and then you'll go on here and do this little evaluation.
So you only evaluate one person, you don't evaluate multiple
people? You have to go next. It just won't let me go forward. So you evaluate everyone in the group. So it'll be group member 1, group member 2 is on the next section. Group member 3, if you have a 3 or a 4, and if not, just put NA if it won't let you finish it. That should be, so yeah, it looks like you have to fill something in to move forward. So I'm going to edit this. It looks like this is duplicated because, like I said, the other form, you had to go in and make a separate form for each one, but I was trying to get it in one. So it looks like I need to look at this again. But so that's a good question. Yes, you have to rate every person in the group.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking. And so the other thing is, how do you know who's in your group? So I've looked at this, I will have looked at the Doodle poll. And so I'm just going to post on the assignment just here in the announcements, excuse me, group number 1, names, group number 2, names. And then I'm going to assign one person in each group randomly just to be the group leader, which means you will use their Google, keep saying Google, their Zoom link, just like you used mine to get here. So you can find out what that is by going into your Zoom meeting room. So over here you have, so if you're just on the main page, so under profile, so everyone should have a profile. If you're in here now, that means you have a profile, and that means you have, my internet connection is unstable. There we are, okay. Under profile right here, personal meeting ID. So whoever's the team or group leader would just copy this and then drop it in the space that I'm going to show you. So Kendra, if you were the group leader, your responsibility would be to go to, I will show you. We'll go back to, so this is like a discussion, right? It's teach one another discussion board, and then this is also where you're going to have coordinate discussion with your team members for the first time. After that, you can do it wherever you want. So each team or group, okay, gotta go to lesson 2, connect in Zoom groups. So this is how you'll connect. So mine will look a little different because I can see everybody's, but when you come in here, you'll only see, instead of seeing all groups, you'll see whichever group is yours. So you'll see Zoom group 1. So if Kendra, Rick, Cindy, we're all a group, you would see you guys in here. And then whoever's the group leader would click on start a new thread, team meeting times, whatever. And then say, hey, let's talk at 6:30. And then here's my Zoom room. And so you would post that. And so the other people in your group could go on there and see it and be like, actually, tonight I can't do 6:30. Can we do 7? And so that's just to coordinate your meeting for.
Why is he not talking up there all the way up?
So you'll be able to meet with, you know, everyone next week in your group. And it's helpful.
I missed that. Did you copy and paste that?
Yes, I did. I did from,
okay.
so your profile, So when
Gotcha.
you're in your Zoom room, go into profile. Only one person needs to do it per group. So that person who's the team leader, basically just the person whose Zoom room you'll use. You
Right.
just copy
That'll
it.
rotate. Okay.
And that way people can all meet up just like we did tonight.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see. So many windows open. All right, so then you could just paste it in there, say, hey, it's me. Let's meet here at this time. And then just like in the other places, people can respond if they have a problem with it. I don't know what that is. I was saying that it's helpful usually to set like a standing time because there's so many things going on. So maybe say like, this worked for us. What is this? Set a standing time that works for you guys, but then you can change it, of course. And some people don't even use Zoom. You could just do a conference call. You could do Google Hangout. Zoom is just what we have through the university, and so it's something we have access to. So again, the process with that is by the end of this week, you will see who is in your group. You'll find that on the announcements page. Someone who is assigned to be the team leader will go into this Zoom group, post the time that was selected by your group in the Doodle poll. You can respond to that if it's, suggest something different or something that's close to that if it's a problem. And then everyone next week at that appointed time will come here and talk about the learning topic of the week. So everyone should have at that point already prepared on their own by reading and then thinking about the assigned topic.
Close the door.
And then when everyone's done, you just go to that that link that takes you to the Google form and fill in about your experience with working with your group. I saw Marilee raised her hand, which is an interesting function on here. Marilee, can you hear me? Or can you talk back, or are you sending me a message? I don't hear you.
No, I just have a quick question.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So when you went into like lesson 2, so will it be specific for each lesson? We'll go into the question to post the link.
You won't. So as far as I know, we can take a look again. I think it's only in lesson 2 because after that you can kind of coordinate on your own, at the end of each meeting, and keep posting in there. Let's go take a look really quickly. I think it was just in that one. I think you'll just have to go back to lesson 2, which is kind of weird.
Okay, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure. So
yeah, I just want to double check. That's what I remember. I don't remember seeing it anywhere else. Let's go into lesson 3. Yep, I don't see it. So every week you'll see the Teach One Another, which is the discussion board. But then if you need to reconnect in that board, you do have to go back to lesson 2. Good question. Any other questions about that process? The prep, joining each other, talking, and then the evaluation for each person. Okay, it's a significant portion of the course, and so if for some reason you can't, I mean, you could talk to your group about rescheduling a time, but if you can't, still do the preparation, and you can go into that form and do the first part of it, which we looked at together. The part like what is the lesson, here. Where does it say it? Well, here I don't see much it's about the group, so you can't put that in. But you can still indicate in there, I wasn't in the group, but I did do preparation, so you can at least get some credit for it. I think that's what I would do. I always want to get something. But yeah, so no questions about that?
No.
Okay.
You said we could find which group we were assigned to starting next week, or we can do
my
that
goal
now?
is by the end of the week, so you can have over the weekend. So I was hoping to do it even by Saturday at the latest. I'm hoping by tomorrow night, so people can start coordinating. I know life gets really, really busy. So, and this is a busy course. It is a lot of work. I recognize that. So, let's see, what else the other thing? So I know, just sort of a heads up, we haven't started working yet on the Family Proclamation project, but it's a larger project, and so I just wanted to let people know where they could go to look at samples. So even if you're not thinking yet about what you want to do, it can give you an idea. Has anyone seen that already? Just curious.
I browsed through it.
You browsed through it. Did you find some of the projects?
I did.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and show everyone else just because I feel like it's helpful. And then please get ready.
Yeah, there's so much on here. I don't remember where I went to find it, but so yeah, it'll be good to see.
Good. Okay. So again, my favorite tab is the content because you can get basically to everything through there. It may be slower through clicking through each tab, but it's pretty much all in there. So we'll go back to content. I just find it really is helpful to sort of start conceptualizing what is going to be asked before you need to start turning in portions of it, which can be overwhelming. See if the computer works for me.
I saw something about 12 chapters, and I would like a preview of what chapters are so that I can start thinking ahead of what.
A preview of the, what do you mean of what the chapters are? Like where access to the book, or do you mean which chapters are for the reading?
I thought we were talking about the ideas for the project.
Yeah, you can choose which topics you want for it.
For the project.
Mm-hmm.
Just said we had to cover material from 12 chapters. So
sorry, could you say that again?
In the suggestions, it said that we need to make sure we cover 12 separate topics that we would be talking about in class. I thought it said chapters, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I think it says
so. I don't know what those 12 are ahead of time. If I did, then it would give me a better.
Yeah, so, I mean, so you can.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was thinking is that it'd be nice.
So you can look through each lesson. So go to the overview section in each lesson, and then you can see what the reading is for the week. My internet. But I mean, it really, you don't have to write up a whole, let's go in here, I'll show you. So hold that thought, we'll go back there. Let's go ahead and look at this before my internet becomes unstable. So under the key assignment, that's a shortcut to it because you'll be referencing these multiple times. So again, we just went to content, and then underneath key assignments, there's a Family Proclamation project, the paper, which is where you do talk about the 12 chapters that you reference in it. And they have examples for both. So here's the assignment sheet where it explains the rubric that I grade off of, and rubrics are really important. And then this is the example page. So, and then you can just click through here, and there's a whole bunch of different formats people have done. There's a website, newsletter, PowerPoint. And then you'll see kind of the breadth of the chapters that are included in there as well. And I just want to show you in the paper, I think you'll see this. Family Proclamation paper. Okay, I think. Oh, sorry. Okay, the next one right there. So this person in this example, and you don't need to focus on this too much right now. This is great. It has an example of citation. That was the other thing I was going to talk about, actually. In chapter 1, I read about modern dating practices and why they fail to last. It goes on to explain, so it's just references. My lesson on relationships stems from there. Chapter 2, so it's not a huge, the project is the big thing, and the paper is just sort of explaining it. So I did want to talk about citations. And since we have a citation in front of us, I just want to ask, has everyone been able to access the library, the course library? Has anyone had a problem with that? Is there maybe a better question? Does anyone know what is this like a new idea? I just want to show, okay, so I'll go back there in a minute, but this is just an example of the citations that you'll be doing when you write a paper for the course. And then at the bottom is what you'll actually be doing. Essentially, you'll be making a reference for the assignment this week that looks like this, so an APA format. This is what you'll be turning in at the end of the week. You're not actually writing a paper. So let me go back and so regarding what readings are in it, unfortunately, I don't have like a list of everything. It's just done by week. And so if you go into the overview for the week, you can see what the readings are for each section. Personally, I feel like if you're choosing a section that's interesting to you and you want to include it in your paper, go for it. You have access to the whole book, and we'll cover a lot of the book, but you can look at each week and see where, what part of the book you're reading. So here's Reed Hawkins, excuse me, I was highlighting the wrong thing, chapter 7. And so maybe I could go through, I should post that. I'm sorry, was that Marilee that had the question?
No, I didn't. I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know who it was.
Cindy, I was asking about what the topics were because I thought I saw in the introduction materials that it said you have to include at least 12 topics.
Yes, that's correct. Right. And so this is where you can see in each week what chapters included. But I do want to know as well. So as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking I'm going to go through and for myself just make a list of which chapters are included and then post that as well. But in the meantime, I don't know if I'll do it by tomorrow, but you could go through and get a head start by looking at each of these sections on the overview to be sure which chapters are going to be part of our reading for the semester. Does that make sense?
Thanks, that's great.
Okay, yeah, but I will make a list, but that's where you can go. So just the last thing then, I do want to just mention the library thing. I had a couple questions about that. So I want to make sure people know where they can find it. No one asked any questions now, so I don't know if that's because you just haven't gotten to it yet because it's only Wednesday, or because you already know. But just in case you don't, we're going to go back again to, we'll go to content. That's the way I go. And then so we are in lesson 2 this week. And for some of you, this might be familiar if you've done other social science classes where you do APA citations, like the one I just showed you at the end of that. Well, the citation was the in text, and then the reference was at the bottom. But this is to teach you how to do that if that's new to you, because it's the way it's done in all social science writing. So we already looked at the group meeting instructions, the group meeting, this epistemologies worksheet. We haven't talked about that. Research practice, that's what we're talking about.
She's lagging.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear what you said. So if you go in here, there will actually be a link to the course library, which if you click on it, it'll say, okay, so this assignment is, you can look at these different materials to learn a little bit about what research is, read them, watch them. And then here is the course library link. And so when you go into there, I have it up, I hope it's still available. Yes. you're going to be looking for a source. Okay. Hopefully it won't kick me out. It might. So I actually did a search to practice because the topic this week, it said write a paper about, not write a paper, find 2 references that support family proclamation principle that children are entitled to a home with 2 parents, essentially. And so it brings you to, might have been faster for me to just have it go this way. All right. This is not where it brings you. This is the next page. That's why I keep going back. Okay, there it is. It brings you to this. This is the access that we have to a bunch of different journals in the social sciences. And so if you search up here, you don't find what you need, and I think some people are searching up here. So what I have found is if you actually click on one of the journals, then you're able to see the articles. And in this case, you don't actually have to get into the articles and get a lot of information. You just want the source. So I hope that's helpful. If it pulls up, we can look at it. But I just wanted you to know where to go. And so you can search inside of the source and find a topic. And it's great to have access to all those articles. And so then you prepare it, like the reference that's at the end of that document I showed you, using the tools that are on the assignment. So you wouldn't need, again, to read the article right now, but you just take this information and put it together as a citation. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you can find in here the citation for the item, which is kind of a cheap way to do it, I guess. It's a shortcut. I would still double check it, but sometimes you can find that they'll cite it for you or reference it for you. So if you find that and you double check it, go for it, just as long as you're sure it's right and when you submit it. So do you guys have any questions for me? Any upcoming assignments? Any processes that aren't making sense?
Well, you'll find out when we turn in our papers.
Well, you can message me before then. Do it on the board because I've gotten a lot of emails with the same questions and the same ones on the board. So if you're thinking about it, probably at least 3 to 5 to 10 other people have the same question. So it saves me a little work if you post it on the board so other people can find it too. Any other questions? I guess that wasn't a question. Any questions? No?
Well, you're accessing this stuff through Brightspace, but I seem to be going through a different site. Huh. It's the
Really?
iCanvas.
So, are you taking any other online courses right now?
Well, that's all I'm taking. Yeah, but yes, I'm taking the 160, the marriage and family.
Some of the courses have transitioned over to Canvas already. They said this one hasn't yet. So it will be going to Canvas. But as far as I know, it's not there yet.
The content is still pretty much the same. So
it looks different
top of the screen where it shows.
You see, my space looks different than yours right now.
No, I mean, it's relatively the same, but I mean, I don't access it through Brightspace. I'm going through the Canvas.
I don't know. I'm confused by that. Does anyone else have that same experience? Not everyone. I don't know. I wonder if your 160 is in Canvas, so that's like your home. They might have transitioned over already. If you hit any problems with that, do contact tech about it because I can't see your screen, but if you can't find anything, because they're putting all their energy into prepping for Canvas, which should be a lot easier to navigate. Thank goodness. So this is kind of.
You might think that, but it's.
They hope. They've told me. Hopefully when it's all the way transitioned over, but
Yeah, well,
I know this one for sure.
I'm old and technically challenged.
Well, and I wonder if you're kind of in between, like one course is Canvas and this one's Brightspace, or but you can check.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know. My screen looks the same as what yours looks here.
Okay.
You still have the content discussion and quizzes and assignments. And
so I think it really is Brightspace. The reason though, what happens when I first log in to IC Canvas, because it's letting me know it's transitioning. Let's see. So it says Canvas on mine, but then when I go into my course, I still am in Brightspace. So, so you have to go to iLearn Canvas. I don't know if it looks like that for you. So it says Canvas on mine as well, but I'm still in Brightspace. But either way, I'm glad you can access the material, and if you hit any problems, let me or tech know. Okay, I don't want to keep you. I know we've come to the end of our time, but do feel free to post or email me if it's something more individual. And yeah, be in touch. Thank you.
Ask one more question. It's not a very important question.
Yeah.
I see that on the chat. I just posted it, but I don't know if you can see that.
You just posted something on the chat? I can't see chat right when I'm sharing my screen. I can't see the chat. Let me get out of there.
Okay, I'll just ask it. So, is it if we can find one of the, like, we were supposed to read Elder Oaks talk today, but I found it on YouTube, so I listened to it while I made my lunch. I don't know if you really prefer that we read it, or if it's okay if we.
I don't care. Do what you have to do. I think it's fine.
I didn't ask, and I just did it today, and I felt a little weird about it. But then when I was able to get more stuff done, I didn't feel that weird. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I really feel like this course is asking you to do a lot of things, and if you can multitask and feel like you are getting something out of it, like, great. At the end of, there's that question at the end of the week, like, do you feel like you're investing in the course? Do you feel like you're engaging with the material? So as long as you feel like you're engaging with the material.
Well, yeah, and like when we had to respond on the message board, I just went back and glanced over the talk, and then I could remember specific passages and sentences better. But I mean, obviously I can't memorize the whole thing while I'm listening to it, but it's still there. I mean, the text is still there, so I can reference it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's fine to me. Thank you for asking, though. And I see it now. I see the message now that I'm off of the Zoom share. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. A good evening. It was nice to see some faces. I think it's fun. So, all right. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Have a good night. And feel free to set up another time if you need it. Bye.